Big part of Robert's treatment was a bone marrow transplant in which her sister Sally was a perfect match. Of course, not everyone lucky enough to have a family member be their exact match. In the state of Florida, there are more than 400 patients with leukemia and other life-threatening diseases who are hoping for a bone marrow donor to give them a chance at life. And that's where you come in. Our Laura Harris is live at Al Lopez Park with how you can help. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, Danny. You know, the park is just a little ways down from Raymond James Stadium on North Himes Avenue. And as you said, a big event happening in just a couple of weeks. 2013 Be the Match Walk Run. It's going to be a family-friendly event right here on March 9th. And who would have thought that coming out with your family, lacing up your shoes would help to save a life? Well, it's very possible. And I spoke with a Bay Area woman yesterday that says being a bone marrow donor has been the best experience of her life.
I can't even explain it to you.
Jessica Johnson says her life changed completely about 14 months ago.
December 24th was actually the day that they called and said that it was going to be me over other recipients who maybe weren't willing or able. And then it was crunch time.
Johnson says her emotions were everywhere. She was told the young man who she was a perfect match for didn't have much time. His leukemia was killing him quickly. He needed a lifesaver.
It puts things in perspective, you know, and it really, it gave me so much joy and so much pleasure, and now I'm going to get teary-eyed, just to be able to know that I could ever possibly do that for somebody, and I would have done it again.
A simple cheek swab test is all it takes to find out if you're someone's match. Johnson says she recently was told her match was doing very well, still alive because of her donation, something Be the Match organizers say they're in desperate need of.
Right now, we have about 10,000 people who are searching the public registry. We have 10 million people on the registry. Last year, we only matched about 5,800 people. We're talking very small numbers that actually can go all the way through the procedure. We need more people on the registry.
Mark Silver with the Be the Match campaign says with two ways to donate, either through the arm, similar to donating blood, or through small holes in the hip, there are options for donors. And if you don't want to donate your bone marrow, financial contributions are always an option.
For every person that I put on the registry, it costs me about $100 to get their lab, their cheek swabs tested.
And while there are steps that follow, Johnson says the end result, knowing she has helped someone extend their life, is nothing short of a miracle.
And I'm glad I could give back, and I'm really looking forward to the day that I get to meet this young man.
And detailed information right there on your screen for the 2013 Be the Match Walk Run event happening Saturday, March 9th. A family-friendly morning to raise awareness for the need of bone marrow donors, as well as educate the community on how much their participation is needed. ABC Action News is partnering with the Be the Match Foundation, as well as other community sponsorship. And just before we came on the air, I checked the Be the Match website, and they are hoping to raise $65,000 at this year's event. They are only a third of the way to their goal at this time. And for more information on Be the Match, whether you would like to donate bone marrow or you just want to participate financially, all you have to do is go to our website at abcactionnews.com. I've posted a link on our homepage. Live in Tampa, Laura Harris, ABC Action News.
Thanks, Laura. What a great cause. And you may not know, but Meredith has been involved in this cause for quite a while. And this year, she's got a pretty big role in the walk and run.
Lisette Campos and I will be emceeing this year's event. Our community affairs director, Lisette. Last year, both of us were involved in the event. It was the inaugural event. And I can tell you personally, I've been on the national marrow donor registry for about 8 years, and it's just a wonderful way to give back. I do want to point out, Dia, these are pictures, by the way, from last year's inaugural event that raised $44,000, and we signed about a dozen or so folks up for the registry. But I do want to point out that getting on the registry, as Laura pointed out, is simply a cheek swab.
A lot of people may not know how easy it is.
Right, and it's not painful at all to get your name on the registry. I mentioned I have been a bone marrow donor, but I have not, or I've been a match, but I've not gone on to donate because the odds of actually being able to donate your bone marrow are so small. Only a small fraction of folks are actually matches, and then out of those folks, only a small fraction can go on to be donors.
But the important thing is at least getting on the registry so that at least people will know that there's a potential match out there.
Right, absolutely. Just get on the registry. It doesn't mean you're making a commitment to donate bone marrow someday. It just means that you could be a match for someone, and you'll have the option if you choose to go further with that. I want to show you my personal page. I'm raising money for the Be the Match walk run. I'd love for you to make a donation. I do want to point out I'm 75% to my goal, and every single person who's donated is a Twitter follower of mine, and that means so much to me. I'd love for you to make a donation. Join us March 9th, or simply join the registry. It doesn't cost anything.
Fantastic, and we know that you'll tweet pictures from their walk and run.
I will, absolutely. And welcome back, Robin
yes.
Roberts, who had a successful bone marrow.
Yeah, and she's going to talk more about bone marrow donation coming up on Good Morning America.
I have been waiting 174 days to say this. Good morning, America. Full.
And with that, Robin Roberts' long-awaited return to the Good Morning America anchor desk is complete. A battle with myelodysplastic syndrome, a rare blood disorder, sidelined her for 5 months. Well, because Robin touched so many lives with her fight and her journey, many fans looked forward to her return, including a fellow bone marrow transplant patient whose connection to Roberts is twofold. He and his Moffitt doctor have words of advice for Robin and other transplant survivors.
Good morning, America.
While news anchor Robin Roberts reunited with her Good Morning America family live on TV,
things are going very well.
Rick reunited with his doctor here at Moffitt Cancer Center. 16 months out from his bone marrow transplant, Rick is feeling great for both himself and Robin. Both were diagnosed with MDS, going through treatment at about the same time.
It stands for myelodysplastic syndrome, and it's really a failure of the bone marrow to produce the necessary ingredients, right? Red blood cells, white cells, platelets.
Both Rick and Robin found their disease in an advanced enough stage that transplant was really the best option. And both needed a donor, finding one close to home in a sister.
In a family, the odds are 1 in 4. I had 2 10-10 matches among my siblings.
Their connection began even before the treatment. Rick, while an administrator at Valencia Community College, delivered a copy of a documentary the school made about the Tuskegee Airmen to ABC in New York. Robin, whose father was an airman, thanked him herself.
What a gracious, outgoing. We got really lots of hugs.
With both post-transplant, what's the prognosis?
Well, as you know, being a survivor, they don't even talk about cure for 5 years. The prognosis for tomorrow morning is fantastic.
I like that. His doctor's outlook is a little more defined.
His myelodysplastic syndrome remains in remission, and at this time, more than 1 year after transplant, it's likely going to be, very likely, most likely, going to remain free of graft-versus-host disease and free of myelodysplasia.
Since he is now 11 months older than Robin, Rick's advice to her is,
don't take unnecessary risks. Be a compliant patient. And you saw that today in the interview with her doctors about flying to California. Don't overdo it. On the other side, if this is a yin-yang, then enjoy life to the fullest. It's all about quality of life, isn't it?
By the way, Dr. Anissetti's research at Moffitt Cancer Center is leading to exciting developments. At least 2 clinical trials will be underway soon there, aimed at preventing complications of bone marrow transplant and preventing malignant reoccurrence. Good stuff.
Yeah, great to see her back on the other story. She looks fantastic.
She sure does. She was glowing.
Yeah, she was.
Happy to be back, you could tell.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are less than 24 hours away from the second annual Be the Match Run and Walk in the Tampa Bay area. ABC Action News helped to launch it last year. The community event raises awareness about the National Bone Marrow Registry, how it works, why it's important, and ultimately has the goal of recruiting more people to join the registry and to raise money to pay for the actual transplant procedures. The goal this year is to raise approximately $33,000, and we, of course, are going to try very hard to help them. Joining us in our studios, we have Mark Silver, who is with the Be the Match Foundation, and our own traffic diva, Meredith Sensulo, traffic reporter on our morning show. Folks are saying, why is Meredith sitting there? This is not a traffic story. The fact is, you've been on the registry for a number of years. Why? How did that happen?
It's a long story, and I'll try to keep it brief, but 1999, and I was a reporter in a tiny town in Virginia, and I went to do a story with a man named Claude Smallwood, who was trying to raise money for his daughter Debbie, who was dying of liver disease, and he mentioned she needed a liver transplant. So in the story, I mentioned that she was eligible for a living liver donor, which at the time didn't didn't happen here in the United States. A man named Ken Schuler called, said, I'm her blood type. I'd like to be a donor. And they became the first living liver donor transplant between strangers in the world. And when I asked Ken, who is my personal hero, why he chose to pick up the phone and make that call and do something that was so huge, he said, if I was standing on the bank of a river and I saw someone drowning, I wouldn't turn and walk away. I would dive in and help. And the day that I joined the National Marrow Donor Registry, it's because I saw a public service announcement and it was a person drowning, and the voiceover said, would you turn and walk away? And that day I went to the University Square Mall where there was a blood drive, and I joined the National Marrow Donor Registry, and I've been on ever since.
Mark, that's a story that you all here at the foundation repeated again and again.
Absolutely.
What is the goal for you all in terms of letting people know how easy it is to join and what happens if they get the call?
If you get the call, there's two ways to donate. The most common way is just like donating blood. It's called PBSC. It comes through the blood system. It's adult stem cells that come out of your blood. And occasionally they do go through the hip, but it's not the painful process that it used to be. We have lots of donors that would talk about it. It's very simple. Science has come a long way since 25 years ago when we first started doing this.
Now you've been, as we've been getting ready for the interview, you've been watching your phone. One of our viewers that we did a story on about 2.5 weeks ago, you've been tracking them on your phone. Tell us what's going on with them. It's very exciting.
We did a story with Jessica, who donated, and she got a call about 4 hours after we aired. She picked up her phone, and it was a young man who said, hi, my name is Justin. You saved my life. The gentleman who she donated to a year earlier found her and called her that day, the same day that she was on ABC.
That Laura Harris did our story on ABC Action News. That is amazing.
And they are actually in North Carolina. He was not well enough to travel down here, so she flew up there, and they are currently meeting. They met about 15 minutes ago.
How exciting.
And so I've been, been watching it. So yes, it's amazing. That's the best part.
On Saturday, tomorrow, Meredith and I will be there bright and early, lots of coffee to be all peppy, and tell us what folks can expect if they come on out and join all of us there.
Obviously a great time, getting out, getting exercise, meeting other people. We're going to have a booth where they can actually sign up for the registry if they're not already on the registry. We're going to have different events going on. Different vendors are going to be there. But the key thing is really come out, and we're going to have a lot of patients that are going to be there. People who have donated, people who have received transplants.
They can see all these wonderful stories of success.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We'll continue the conversation on our Facebook page. I'm sorry, we're running out of time. Here's the information on your screen. The Be The Match walk happens tomorrow morning. First walk is at 8:45, and then we have one at 9 and at 9:05. Meredith and I again will be there. We'll be waiting for you. Take plenty of pictures. So come on out and do something for this wonderful cause.
Beautiful morning out there right now, Bill. The
really is.
Be The Match run's going on too for it.
Be The Match run. There's so many things going on this weekend, but yeah, we do have some video from that run this morning as they got going over at Al Lopez Park. This is the Be The Match run, and there's still time to head over there and get in on the bone marrow registry. If you can't make it out today, you can go to marrow.org and order a kit online. It is as simple as a cheek swab to see if you can be the match.